right? Some people do.
They're out there.
They're out there.
I think Keith Kennedy does.
Does he really?
I think he does.
Oh. Keith Kennedy at AOL.com.
I'm not sure if it's that or his other name.
Mm-hmm.
I get made fun of because I still have a Yahoo.
Do you
You
really?
should.
I have a Yahoo. I have a bunch of different ones.
Why do you have a bunch of different email addresses?
They're all for work. But
Really?
like the Yahoo one I had since I was a kid. I think that was like my first email. Well, no, like college I had that.
But these
one.
aren't all ones you still use actively. You mean you have had a bunch of them?
I have a Yahoo one and I have a Gmail one.
Oh, I see.
Those are the only ones I have.
Okay.
Other than that, the rest of them are work, like emails. So I don't really count those because it's all work. Like,
Does McBoyfriend smoke?
yeah.
Yeah.
Cigarettes?
Yeah.
Somebody texted in the break, I'm surprised Cody's okay with McBoyfriend smoking cigarettes. And I didn't know it. I've never met him. I don't know.
I mean, I told him that I wasn't crazy about it.
But that you're crazy about him and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was
right?
like,
Oh.
you know, I've grown because before it was a deal breaker. But I didn't know he smoked.
That's not growth. You just lowered your standards.
No, I've learned to not be so judgmental.
Hey, that's great. Good
okay.
for you.
You
Be
say so.
curious, not judgmental.
Because it was a deal breaker. Like I just didn't. My mom smoked growing up, and so I just didn't like it on my clothes.
Your
But-
mom did.
Yeah. So
Huh.
he doesn't smoke around me. He doesn't like if he smokes a cigarette, he goes out, outside, or he doesn't smoke in my car or anything like that. So I don't really smell it, and he'll.
But you taste it.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
When you guys are making out, he doesn't taste like, what did they say, Bill, when you were a kid? Kissing a smoker. It's like licking an ashtray.
Well, I think because he knows I don't like the fact that I don't like cigarette smoke, that he cleans. Like I don't know if he does mouthwash. I don't know what he does. Maybe
That's a lot of work.
gum or something. But
Hey, you do what you got to do for the people that you love.
because honestly, it would irritate me now. Like if I were to ride with someone who has cigarette or ashes all over his car,
All right.
like it would make me.
Ashes all over his car.
Like if you have a cigarette tray in your car and you just have all the ashes all over.
But I don't even think ashtrays are still in cars.
They might. I mean,
I had
you
to
could put
explain to
one
my
in there.
daughter because I have like a USB cigarette lighter adapter.
Yeah.
But they're not for cigarette lighters anymore. They're
They're
just
literally
power
just for
sources.
power sources,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had to explain to my daughter what they used to be.
I didn't know Brian smoked the first few months of our relationship.
Oh, he smokes? I didn't know he smokes.
No, he doesn't anymore.
Oh.
But he did, and
You
he
made him
was,
give it up? His
No,
meal
but he
cigarette?
was.
He pretended they were just leaks.
He was so good at covering it up. I literally had no idea.
Yeah, I think people know that they're conscious of it. They don't
Yeah.
want to smell like smoke, or they don't want. There's like a taboo on it, and I was like that. Like I dealt with people who smoked in the past, and I was critical of it, and I feel bad now. But what I've learned as an adult is everyone has their vice. Like I smoke pot. I hit the pen. So some people might not like that.
Huh. Well, I've never known a smoker who didn't smell like smoke.
Brian was the first one I had
So
ever met.
there must be a lot of work to get, because smokers are like cat owners. They don't think anything smells like it, but you know immediately that they either have a cat in their house or they smoke.
Yeah, he would. He told me that if he knew we were hanging out that night, he wouldn't smoke most of the day. That
That's
it
a
would
big
be
commitment.
Yeah,
if
because
you
he
have
knew
that
I
itch-
didn't like it. So so his breath wouldn't smell like it. His clothes wouldn't smell like none of it. He would make sure to. I don't know what all the things he did, but I had no idea.
What was his brand?
I don't remember. I don't know that I never saw him smoke a cigarette. I saw butts at his house.
Oh.
One of the first times I went over there, and I was honestly shocked because I felt stupid kind of, where I was like, damn, how did I not know? But yeah, he quit years ago.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you a little bit earlier that Ozzy Osbourne, because his body is not responding the way he would like, he's dropping off that Power Trip Festival. This heavy metal Coachella that's happening in October. And I know I only mention it because we gave away a bunch of trips. Judas Priest will replace Ozzy Osbourne. Of course, another band that has stopped doing world tours. And when he said it's going to be a band that I'm really good friends with, my first thought was Rob Halford coming out of semi-retirement, I guess. But if you won one of our trips and you're still going out there, you're going to see Judas Priest who, listen, I love Judas Priest. If I'm mowing the lawn, I either have Judas Priest or Steely Dan in my headphones, right? Last week when I was mowing the lawn, Judas Priest, Defenders of the Faith, front to back. Love it. However, in their later years, and I've had Rob Halford as a guest on this show many times over the course of my career. Love him. But they can be a very uneven live band. Love Judas Priest. But you can see them and you're like, wow, they are going through the motions. And then you can see them another time and they're just dynamite. But they're going to replace Ozzy on that Power Trip Festival for anybody who might be going. Even if you're not going, they're still going to replace Ozzy. They're not waiting for you to sign off. Just FYI.
Noted.
Thank you. You can leave messages for us anytime you like. You can leave little talkback messages on the iHeartRadio app. You can use our after hours line. Call anytime. It's 216-986-8903.
Hey guys, welcome back from vacation. I'm about halfway through the podcast for Monday, and my God, I don't know if I can make it. Alan, I'm sure you had fun on your trip. I don't know if you're just still kind of, your mind is in Vegas. I don't know what's going on this episode, but man, you're making these segments unbearable.
Yep.
The baseball draft thing, like, I'm not even a huge baseball fan, and I know you're making, these jokes about LeBron, but the comments about, no one drafts players from high school, and this kid's going to be in Cleveland next week, like, it went on for so long, and it's okay just to say that you don't know about baseball. This kid's going to be in the minor leagues for years and years. He might not even ever play for the Guardians. We don't know. And now this drink thing, you and Mary just not letting this drink argument go. I really don't want to skip an episode. I'm halfway through. I really hope it gets better where you're not just sabotaging these segments with these arguments. Love you guys. Glad you're back. But please stop. Thanks. Bye.
Nobody wants me to have any fun around here.
No, they want you to have fun the way they want you to have fun.
They
Yeah,
want to
it does.
You
whine
wanna have
and
fun.
complain and bitch and mope. Jesus Christ, man. A minute 20. A wham, wham, wham. Cheer up, bro. I can't go off on a baseball tangent.
Not
or
the way you do it, no.
Tropical drinks that are nearly identical. I
not your
can't go
show.
off on that.
You don't get to choose the topics of conversation.
Oh,
it's not
my
your show.
God.
This show belongs to the people.
It does. That is true. It is for, I don't do it for me. By the way, the podcast is for you. It doesn't benefit me at all. Skip all the episodes. I don't care. It is for you. I hope I don't have to skip. I forbid you to listen to the rest of it from now on. And just for that, I'm going to re-air both of those segments on the Week in Cox. How do you like that?
Tell them you hate
The
him.
baseball segment and the drink segment.
Tell them you hate him.
No, that's you.
Tell them you hate him.
Nope.
It feels good.
So because I don't hate the audience, but I want to have fun, man. I'm clearly joking all the time. So if you want to have fun, Sunday morning, 8 to 10, if you want to complain, call that guy. But you'll hear both of those segments on Sunday morning. Bill and Poundcake will be your affable hosts. The whining and the complaining. That guy sounded like he was going to throw a belt over the shower curtain rod in 30 seconds. Just have fun with us. That's all it is.
That's
It's
dirty.
fine. What?
A belt over the shower rod?
Shower curtain rods used to be bolted into the
I was
wall.
gonna
and so
say.
occasionally,
Yeah, none
The
anymore.
little cheap ones I have.
no,
I'm
not the collapsible
Clank,
ones
clank, clank.
I'll die another way. Hit the
Yeah,
tub
hit
on the
your
way
head,
down.
yeah.
on the porcelain, right?
I'm sick of this. I wouldn't do that.
It's not even porcelain anymore. It's fiberglass.
Is it really?
I mean, most tubs are now, yeah.
Oh, yeah, tubs. I
Yeah.
was thinking, he said toilet.
You think it's
No, I'm sure there's still some bathrooms that have the thing bolted in, but back in the day, they were when the houses were all asbestos and God. Speaking of complaining, I was reading about this dude who they had to completely divert the flight because a guy in first class was pissing about the meal.
Oh, come on.
Now
He paid his money. He wants it exactly how
Well,
he
I'm
wants
kind of
it.
with you there. In his slight defense, slight.
They're so different.
It's still an international flight. International flight full of people. So just, I'd say, suck it up, muchacho. This is Houston to Amsterdam, and they had to divert to Chicago because a guy interrupted the flight because his first meal choice was unavailable. They would have had to have used up too much fuel, so they diverted.
What airline?
United Airlines.
Okay, now here's what I'll
Houston
say.
to Amsterdam, they had to divert to Midway in Chicago. A guy on board in first class was pissed off because they didn't have the food that he wanted. The total flight time, 9 hours and 30 minutes.
Now
They were-
wait.
What?
I get what you're saying. Yes, you pay your money, blah, blah, blah. On United, as someone, I pretty much almost exclusively fly United. And you can pre-select your meal. So that is on this guy. Whenever you fly first class.
No, he did, but they ran out or didn't have it or
No.
whatever.
He pre-selected his meal and they still didn't have it. I have a feeling this guy didn't pre-select his meal, and because they only prepare the number of seats that they sold.
Well, I'll read this to you. First class passengers on United are typically offered a full 3-course meal
Yes.
in addition to more food throughout the flight. Now, one way, Houston to Amsterdam, is about $6,900.
Oh my God.
So it's a lot of money to fly first class international. That's a lot of money.
It's not worth it.
Okay?
Yes.
Newark to Amsterdam. Sorry, this is another one. Newark to Amsterdam as an example. Not his flight, but probably the same. First class choice of food. You got seared beef short rib or seared lemongrass salmon or ricotta salata or the wild honey manigot, right? Whatever this guy wanted, they didn't have it, and he flipped the F out. Meanwhile, us jamokes back in economy are like, hey, could I have another thing of almonds, you know? The guy paid $6,900.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But to divert to make such a scene that they have to divert the entire flight. You think you're going to Amsterdam. You're like, next stop, red light district, baby. Next thing you know, you're in Midway off the Orange Line.
But what did he say though? Because I feel like airlines are just hypersensitive to stuff like that.
Well, they
He
might
didn't say
be
he was
because
gonna kill
they're
anyone.
in the air. They have to be. I want people on planes to be hypersensitive if they're working on the plane.
But that's what I'm saying. If he just said, "Ma'am, I paid a lot of money for these seats."
No, they
like,
said he flipped out. They described it as.
Of course, they'll say he flipped out. They have to justify
But they
landing
don't.
in.
But they don't
They're not
want
gonna-
to.
they don't wanna
divert
stop.
Yeah, they don't want to divert to Chicago, Houston to Amsterdam. That seems so far out of the way.
I
Right,
stand
and
by
sure
what
it's
I
not.
said.
when you flip out the way he did, then you're not getting any sort of refund because
I need audio.
yeah,
I
like
need audio, just like that chick that was saying she was.
That guy's not real.
Yeah, I need audio. There's audio for everything. If they ain't having no audio or no video, I'm not believing this story.
Seat 11. There was somebody posted something about an ATC at Midway or something, or the flight deck. Seat 11G, threat level 1. That's how they described it. But imagine that. Now, if you pay $6,900 and you go, I wanted the wild honey manicotti, and you're offering me the seared beef short rib. I don't want that. They can fine you a lot of money, by the way, for like unruly behavior.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
saying.
get huge FAA fines.
If you just complain like a regular person, you're probably going to get some flight vouchers or something
How
like
do
that.
you know that? How do you know
But-
that? How do you know they're not going to say you flipped out?
I
'Cause
need
you're not
to know
doing
if
it
he
on the flight.
pre-ordered. I don't think that he pre-ordered, and if that's the case, this is 100% his fault.
Didn't say anything about that.
That's what I'm saying. So
need
if
audio.
they're not giving him anything and they're saying sorry about your luck, I guarantee you this was all on him.
They want people to just shut up and.
But there
sit on
couldn't.
the flight.
But there couldn't be a scenario in which they just, oops, we
No.
ran out.
Because there's only
They stock enough for what they
20
order.
seats in first class.
Oh, I
so
see what
that's
you mean.
why they tell you get probably, when you fly first class on United specifically, again, I've never done it internationally, but they will send you probably 3 different reminders, a text
Okay.
message in the app and an email saying, hey, make sure you pre-order your food so you get your first choice.
like the kosher meal or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
and
okay.
and if you don't, by the time they get to you, they're like, hey, here's what we have left.
Right. We have a cold lemongrass salmon. I've never flown first class, so I don't know anything about this. But
No.
I've certainly have friends who have, including one, Mary Lynn Santora.
Mm-hmm.
She likes talking about it too.
They said,
Of course, I like talking about it.
Bragging about it.
they
Yes.
said,
No humility over there.
Like 4 years ago, I was sleeping in my car on the road. Yeah, I'm gonna brag about flying first
now
class.
she's sleeping in first class.
That's a $6,900 seat. I'm just saying.
They said that unruly passenger incidents have increased 50% compared with last year. 50%. An incident happens once every 568 flights, which might not sound like a lot, but when you see those maps of all of the airplanes in the air at the same time, you can't believe there aren't constant air. It's amazing when you realize how many planes are at the air at any given time, internationally, domestically, whatever. You can't believe they're not constantly hitting each other and falling out of the sky. Don't ever look at those
plan
maps.
out.
You'll pucker. If you know, I see
The
people.
air's pretty big.
Well,
though.
the air. Let me write that down. The air is pretty big.
It's cool when you see a flight while you're
Air
flying.
does what it wants, and it's pretty big.
Mhm.
No, but you'll see people when we were flying back from Vegas. You see people that just watch the flight tracker.
I do that.
I do that.
Yeah, for like a minute maybe, but there was one guy sitting there the whole
You
time.
watch it the whole time.
I don't watch it.
I watched a couple of movies. I'm like watching Curb Your
Well,
Enthusiasm.
mine wouldn't work.
So I don't watch it the whole time, but that's what's on my screen, and then I'll read a book, or I'll take a nap, or I'll play a game on my phone. But I don't generally watch TV on flights. I'll put the flight tracker on so I can see where we're at. So when I wake up from my nap, disoriented, I'm like, okay, we're above Montana.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Doesn't mean anything. It's just you
So
can
I have it
see where
on.
you're at. Well,
Yeah, but
because then
doesn't-
you can kind of start counting down. We're like, all right, 2 hours left, or whatever.
But they show you that.
No, they
2
don't.
hours. Yeah, it says at the top, 2 hours, 14 minutes to destination.
If you're on the flight tracker, not if you're just watching TV. If you're just on a movie, they don't show you that.
My TV, when I got out, it would say 2 hours, 14 minutes to arrival or whatever. You know what I watched?
On a regular movie?
This was Delta. You know what I watched, Bill, on the flight?
What's
That Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Very entertaining.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
I also watched that Operation Fortune, the Jason Statham, Aubrey Plaza thing.
I don't know
Little
about
spy
that.
caper. Also, very entertaining. I'm happy to see Josh Hartnett start to show up in things again. Black Mirror, he's doing a couple of movies here. Still looks good. Anywho, this guy, joke's on him because they kicked him off at Midway. And I don't know. But let that be a lesson to you. If you fly first class, make sure, listen to Mary, pre-order your meal. Tell them, I don't want the ricotta salata. I want the seared beef short rib. So that the chef, I assume they have a chef right there in
They
first
have a
class.
microwave.
Yep. So that they hit the right heating time on the microwave. Here's your wild honey manicotti, sir.
Dude, I will say, the handful of times I've flown first class, the food's been pretty legit.
Handful of times you've flown first class.
Well, I've gotten
Must be
upgrades.
nice.
No, I'm
Must be nice.
I've gotten upgrades. I've had all kinds. I mean, and it's not all the time.
Must be nice.
But what I will say is the food is pretty legit. It's not like horrible food. You eat it and you're like, whoa.
It's
I hope
better
so.
than, yeah, it's
Yeah.
better than in the back.
Yeah.
They give you some freeze-dried shrink wrap sandwich. I got a break here. We'll have some hot celebrity goss, courtesy of Perez Bilton on the way. I'll have another $1,000 for you to win, courtesy of the Buzzard bookie around 4:30. After the break, if you're trying to get to that Eagles Steely Dan show, Eagles are on their final run. It's going to bring them to Cleveland this fall. I'll have those tickets for you after the break.
It's the Alan Cox